Good morning everybody, it's Jeanette here from my Cottage Crafts again. I'm going to make a journal cover and I'm going to be using some of the items that I was sent from Beebeecraft this month. And I've just set up on the table in another room because I have a little bit more space. Nice flat table as well. And I'm going to be using the lovely screen print stencils from Beebeecraft. This is how they come, and you get 2 of these per pack. So I've cut the other one up. You cut along this white line here and you end up with 2 separate stencils. So I thought, before we do that, what I might do is just have a little play. I've got some scraps here. Press down lightly. You must press it down though, because you don't want the paint seeping underneath. And I've just got this on a silicone mat, so that's easy to get off. You press down hard enough that the paint won't seep under it, but not too hard that you're going to rip all the paper when you pick it back up. Now I have white paint, but I don't particularly want to use white. So I've also grabbed this mica powder. It's like in a light gold colour, and I thought maybe if I add a little bit of this to my white paint, I can get a better colour. So let's have a look what we can do. This is just normal acrylic paint. I'll just do that to start with and see how this looks. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know how we're going to go. I'm actually using my Cricut scraper or tool because I don't have, screen printing things. So we'll see how we go. Right, let me just bring it down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just put it and bring it down. I'm just going to spread it down a little bit first. See if I can get some more. Okay, now I'm going to go back scrape it down. I just need to, can't really see from that angle, so I'm just going to it'll be easier to put the paint on the stencil itself. Right, okay. That's a bit better, I think. A little bit down here. The scraper is not pliable. Alright, I think I covered it all. Just let me wipe my hand. Okay, now let's have a look how it turned out. That's not bad for a a sample piece, and it's still usable. The colour is wonderful. This is a handmade paper. It may not be the best kind of paper to use with this. The colour is wonderful, though. It's not that bright white. It's just a nice aged white. So I will go and wash this. I think you pretty much have to wash them straight away. They are reusable, and the stickiness does stay once you've wet them. And then we'll come back and try our cover. Alright, so I've got my cover here. I did have a little bit of a practice with the bright white and I didn't like it, so I've mixed some off-white colour off again with the mica powder, which worked really well, I thought. And I want to make sure I place this just right, so bear with me. And for the cover, I'm using a file folder, not a hanging file folder. You know, the old vintage hang file folders? I'm using one of those. Okay, so gently just pushing that down, not too hard. This time I'm going to put the paint onto the stencil, not onto the scraper thing. So we'll see how we go. Fingers crossed. It's okay, I've got more of the files, but if I pop it along the top here. Fingers crossed. And it doesn't matter if I got, because that part I'm going to cover that with something else. So here we go. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love that. I'll just get that. I'll put something, I can trim the edges off a little. Oh, I'm very happy with that. I'll rinse this and then I'll be back. Alright, I'll show you a little bit closer there. There's a tiny little smudge there and a tiny little smudge there, but overall I think that worked perfectly. I will trim the edges off, and like I said, that will be covered. But isn't that lovely? I'm very, very happy with that, and that is quite easy. I mean, I'm not a screen printer by any means, and if, you know, that's I've only just done it a couple of times, so I'm very happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and use the rest of my paint. See, that one's slightly lighter than that one, but definitely still darker than the bright white. So there we go. I'm going to do these and then I'll join you again back in my craft room. Alright, so they have all dried now. I'm quite happy how the cover turned out. It's not perfect. There's a couple of marks, but I'm quite pleased with it. I think it's just, the colour is perfect. I'm very happy with that. This is the handmade paper. Be very careful what papers you're using with this stencil, because it does have that sticky back and it can stick. It did smudge a little, but it's okay, it's usable. That could be a card. And then I did that one as well, and one for the bottom down there, and another one. And I'm so glad I lightened it a little bit, because look how yellow that first one I did looks, and that's not the colour I was going for, so I'm very glad that I lightened it up a little bit. I also tried it on a paper bag, but once again, be very careful what paper you use, because it's not overly thick. Some of the paper stuck to the back of the stencil, so this worked perfectly. That's just like a cardstock kind of thing. I will still use this because it gives it that shabby look, but I did not go ahead and do another one because I had to clean my stencil, and that took quite a while. I also, oh dear, I thought, oh, it would look nice over some vintage music paper. That was a very big mistake, because can you see all the print that it took off the music paper? Well, that's exactly how much stuck to the back of the stencil. I had to soak it. Took quite a long time. I can use this in the journal also, but I'm not going to use it on any more vintage paper. I'm only going to use it on new, like cardstock kind of paper. Even though this is a vintage file folder, they've never been used. They're kind of brand new still, so it works, and it's not rough, or it's not too rough, and it's not it just doesn't stick too much. So there we go. That's what I did with the stencil. So let's just quickly decorate the front of this journal. I thought it might be nice to use, where is it, some of the lovely cotton trim that I tea stained up for my last project. I thought that might be nice. I can gather that. Do I want it gathered, or do I want it straight, perhaps? Oh, I've got to look in the viewfinder. Maybe gathered. I think gathered. It's okay to have gathered lace on the front of your journal. And I'm going to, okay, so how much do we need? I need to trim. Do I need to trim this off, or will I put something along the edge? I could trim it off. It doesn't matter. 1, 2. I might as well gather it all up, use what I want, and keep the end bits for tags and things like that. 2.5 times is generally what you would use for a nice little gather. So on my sewing machine, I'm just going to run a couple of rows of the largest straight stitch onto this. Do I want to? No, it's fine. And then I'll be back. Alright, I'm back, and I've just been gathering it up by pulling the 2 top threads of my stitching. And then I've laid it down, and I don't want it overly gathered. I've decided I don't want it, to look frou-frou or anything like that. I just want it to look nice. Okay, so something like that, I think. Like that. Yes, that will be fine. So I can either stitch that onto the cover, or I can glue that onto the cover. And I think I'll just glue it on. Yeah, I think I'll just glue it on. So I'm just going to cut it off a little bit bigger than what I want. And that still has threads in it that I can use for tags and things like that. So perhaps starting at this end, and that way I can arrange everything and make sure it's the right length. as well. I think I'll use some Helma 450 quick dry adhesive. So basically it's going to be glued about there. So if I put a line there, and that's where I'm going to set my stitching line. Like that. Those. That, and I'll do that all the way along, and then I'll be back. Alright, so that is on, and I've trimmed the sides down as well. Then I thought, I've got this rickrack from Beebeecraft. I've actually tea stained this previously, and this is what was left over. And I thought that would go across like that. So let's just cut that. And also I have this lovely floral applique piece from Beebeecraft also. So this came in a pair. I've used one of the pair already on another journal, and I thought, like, that colour isn't the same as that, but these ones are quite similar to that, so I think that will work if I put part of this, like, perhaps like that, and I make a pink floral journal. I'm just thinking. Put that there. How's that going to go? Oh yeah, that will go all right. It will just fit properly like that, won't it? If I bring it over a little bit more that way, I think that will be very pretty as a journal. So let's just get this rickrack glued on. And I hope you've all been keeping well. I hope you all had a good weekend. Okay. It feels good to be crafting again. I did a little bit of hand stitching on the weekend, which was nice, but I mustn't overdo it at the moment because of my shoulder, my arm, shoulder. I think the doctor said everything that hurts in your arm is generally related to the shoulder. So I'll say shoulder. Here we go. Let's see if that's fairly straight. Yes. Going on there. Okay. What I might do is at a later stage put a piece of lace under there, just so if the skirt flips up, it's got a pretty piece of lace under there as well. So that's that, and I can see where the bend is here. So I want it like that, I think will be pretty. Yeah, like that. I don't, oh, I can, oh, look at that. That was easy. Okay, what I'm thinking is like that. I will probably trim that off and put it going around. Let's have a look. That part there. I might need to just have a look and make sure there's no bits. Okay, so that like that, that like that. That's okay on the front being there, I think. I didn't want those two right next to each other there. I may find another flower to put there. Yeah, because I think it will just look better with a, you know, maybe a cream coloured flower or something like that just there. So, okay, now I have to go along and glue these down. I don't know if I can get that off without ruining the... Oh, it's hot glued on actually. I wonder... It's hot glued. I'll put another flower over it. That's what I'll do. Okay, so like that. Oh, but... About like that. I know it's hard to see from up there, but there we go. Like that. And let me go see if I can find a flower for there. So I'm just finishing off gluing the little floral applique on. Now, kind of want like that. Without it, I kind of want it looking natural. There we go, that'll do. There we go. So that's all glued down. I did leave, I've put a bit of glue on, but I'm not pressing it down. I'll leave that bit up at the bottom there. I may remove the little diamantes in the center. I'm not sure yet, so they're staying for the time being. I thought we might make a flower out of this ribbon that I got from Beebeecraft, so I've cut off a piece and I'm just taking the little bits of nylon out like that. And I just thought I'd maybe gather up a flower. Maybe, maybe not. Just trying to think here. it's not really going to be noticeable. I need something a little bit darker. Because the lace effect is quite strong, it's okay, I will use that in the journal. Because the lace effect is quite strong. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got an idea. Also, part of my design package were these cabochons. Perhaps I will have to paint it. Perhaps I could put something like that there. Like that. I will paint it. What one will I use? That one's really pretty. Like that. I could go there, and I could put a picture in it. Would I want that on the front? Would I be able to write with that on the front, I wonder? Maybe not. But I can still put a lovely picture in there. Of course I can. And perhaps a little bow at the top. Where did I... Like, I have to paint it. So I could do a little bow at the top or something. That could work. It doesn't look very good in black here, but I've got some chalk paint, so I'm going to go and paint it. I'm also going to heat up my glue gun and see if I can melt that a little bit, just so I can pick it off. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. So while I'm waiting for the cabochon to dry, I thought I cut another piece of this cotton trim from Beebeecraft up, and I thought I would put it underneath like that. I don't want it hanging below the cover because some people like to stand their journals up, and if you've got too much going on at the bottom, it might hinder them standing it up. So we'll just put some glue along there. That. And then when that's down, you know, if it comes up, it's not so bad. Yeah, I could still put a bit of lace at the top as well, if when I find the right one. Just needs a little something, I think. So that's there. We shall trim that. I might just put a little, like, dab of glue there as well. Like that. Because if that one kicks up, then it defeats the purpose of putting it there in the first place, to cover the card. And I just had an idea. Okay. Let's just trim that little bit there. Okay, so that's a bit better. That's an option as well. That's from Beebeecraft as well. I just need to get a piece of... I need to measure one of these. Just need to measure around one of those onto something. Okay, scraps. That will be fine. Okay. And I'm wondering if I can use one of the little rub-ons that I received from Beebeecraft also. We're kind of sticking to the pink theme, weren't we? So they come with fabric. I wonder if I could... Maybe I could do it on fabric. Let's have a look. These are the pink ones. I don't know whether any of the other colours... Like, there's beautiful colours. But I think I'm going to stick to pink. So this is what I've got left. Though, I mean, there's a beautiful rose that would work quite nicely. There. I used the other ones, didn't I? It's a really pretty tulip as well. Or this poppy. They're not really pink, are they? They're red. Quite like the rose, though. The rose looks lovely, that one. Because it's got the coppery leaves, which brings the gold in. It's not quite so dark as that one. I might use that one there. I think that would be nice. Now, what would it be like on the... I think maybe on the fabric. I'll keep that because I'll need that. I'll use that as a template. Oh, look at that. Okay. So, now do I need it all? Do I want it down a little bit? Maybe down just a little bit. Okay, so what I will do, I think, is go like that. Let's see what that looks like. It could work. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to place that on the fabric. Just put it down. I had one here, a paddle pop stick. Here we go. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Just draw around it again. Might be easy. I think it looks lovely with that on, but I just think that would be a bit too heavy for the front of a journal cover. Let me just... These need to go back away in a minute. So that looks alright, doesn't it? It does. But I will still use that because I don't want that directly onto the metal. I'll use that. So I'll cut them both out. Can I see through that enough? I can see through that. Or maybe I can stick it on here. I'm not using a wet glue because I don't want it to show through. There we go. Alright, let's pop these away. Okay, close enough at the moment. Now, I have to cut on the inside of the line. Right, so that. Oh, I did melt that off as well. It came off quite all right with the glue gun, hot glue gun. Yes. Okay. Can go over there. Let me go see if the casing is dry. So it has dried, but I just think it's too white against there. So I'm going to go and repaint it, and this time put a little bit of that same mica powder to soften it a little bit as well. And then I'll let it dry and I'll be back. Actually, I just remember I had this Opal Magic Wax. I'm not quite sure. I've barely ever used it. It's called Vintage Silk. Look at the colour of it. I wonder how that works. Don't want to ruin it. I just want to see what it's like. It's gold, is it? Oh, I don't know. Let's try a little bit on the back there. Oh yes, look at that. See how it softened that little bit of white? Let's have a look, just a little. Probably don't need a lot. Let's try it in the middle where we won't see it. Oh, that could work really well. I hope. Okay, here's going. That could just do the trick. This takes that crisp whiteness off it, especially. And tie it into the gold threads on the lace piece as well. I think that may work. Like, you still see a bit of the white, but not too much. Just want to go around that circle part as well. Oh, I think that works much better. I forgot I had that. I'll have to leave that out so I remember to use it. Right, that should look quite nice. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? I mean, once we have this in, okay, let's put that in. Right. I'll just give it a minute and then I'll push it down a little bit more. There. Sorry, I just need to look under the magnifying glass to make sure there's no globs of glue. That looks alright. Okay. Like that. Yes, that looks better. And there's little tiny bits of the black showing through, but I don't mind that because then it helps it to lift up from the lace and the background as well. Now we just need a little bit of... that. That could work. That could work. Yeah, that could work. I think I'm going to stick with that. And put some glue on the back of it now. I've got some of that wax on my hands, so I don't want to touch the fabric too much. Okay. There. Okay, I think that's it. Put all my scissors away again. There. Yes, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. So, let's make a nice background for it. Here we go. I've still got my square of fabric here from the other day. I like this fabric, it's pretty. There we go. How's that? We have our lovely journal cover. I know it's not completely finished, but you can't always finish journal covers completely before you actually make the inside. Oh, there you go. Look, there's the white one I tried. See the subtle difference between the bright white and the cream? I'm glad I went for the slightly creamy colour, and I'm quite pleased with how I'm going to have to let that dry properly. So that is a journal cover using lovely products from Beebeecraft, using the lovely silkscreen stencil, the cotton trim, and the cabochons, along with the rub-ons and the ribbons that I received this month. Also the lovely lace applique piece and the pink rickrack. They're all from Beebeecraft. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I've enjoyed making that. I'm quite pleased, and it should look quite nice with, you know, the little tags and things I made last time. I added a bow to that one. I thought it looked a bit naked on the side. So there we go. Everything I've used will be in the description box below, along with the older items as well. So take care, everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye.